Hi guys, welcome to It's Possible podcast, and today we have a very awesome guest. He's my friend, and we actually met each other about a few weeks ago, and it's been a good conversation between both of us. I asked him out if he can be on my show, and he decided that yeah, sure, he can be on my show. His name is Tony. He's a great person. He has a great personality, and Mr. Tony, please introduce yourself, please.
Hello, everyone. My name's Tony. Tony Gonzalez. I've lived in North Texas 15 years, going on 16 years now. And I'm originally from South Texas. I've worked with Kahinde, like he said, with Kahinde about 3 going on 4 weeks now. And it's been a good conversation, like he really said. Yeah, like it was just like friends meeting and just talking, like, hey, what's up? And just, got along. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much, Tony. And we're going to be discussing about a topic that says victim or victorious. So, to you, what do you think about this topic?
So when it comes to victim or victorious, um, it is a mindset in my perspective because yeah, we all go through certain things in life that we don't agree with and or set us back. However, how far back are we set and how quick do we rebound to come up to where we were and move forward past it? So while everyone can be a victim, everyone has the possibility to be victorious depending on the situation and the outcome that they themselves want to bring and make happen. So yeah, we're all victims, but we can all be victorious.
Right. So, Tony, did you consider yourself a victim or victorious?
Well, see, that's a pat question. Again, we can all be victims. We can all be victims. Am I a victim? Yeah, gas prices are high, and I have to drive a vehicle. But generalizing my life, should I say, I am victorious. I've not let setback circumstances keep me back. I've actually used them to catapult me forward past where I was prior to the setback. So I would say I'm victorious on an everyday and situation happening.
Right. So, if you don't mind, can you give us a great example of what situation you've been in a victim and you become victorious at the end of the situation? Because I have a lot of people listening to this podcast worldwide from Nigeria, Africa, United States, across the globe. And, I believe they would love to see or they would like to hear some of your stories where you've been a victim and you end up being victorious.
Um, so it honestly, um, the one that really holds dear to my heart is the notion of being adopted. Um, the lady who had me loved me enough to had me, and I thank her for it. But she abandoned me at birth, and my parents took me in when I was 22 days old. So I could be that person and say I was abandoned because I was born through a midwife. I wasn't even born in a hospital. So she literally abandoned me. The midwife then took care of getting me to wherever I got. And I ended up with my parents. Thank goodness, thank God. Thankfully, I ended up with my parents. Um, so I was 22 days old and I had been the victim at birth, but at 22 days old, I was already victorious, unbeknownst to me, you know? So I believe that that is my biggest situation that I would have to get over and through in a mental state of mind when it comes to things not going my way. More so because I've been through worse is what I tell myself without knowing that I went through worse.
Yes.
I was built to surpass.
Mm.
I was born, created, built to surpass whatever outcomes, whatever obstacles might come my way. It's the outcome is my decision.
Yes.
Um, let's see what else. Well, in part due to that, when I was going to start traveling abroad and going out of the country, I had a difficult time getting a birth certificate. I was a victim of that again. But did I let that victimize me. No, I got everything that I needed to get in order. I sent it to the government, and I got my passport. So it was difficult. Yes. Did I have setbacks? Yes. Were there frustrating moments? Of course. But what's the point of holding on to that frustration
Hmm.
if it will not get me anywhere but leave me stagnant in the mud? So I pull myself out of that feeling victorious because I ended up with my passport and I started visiting other countries. So, I mean, those would be instances that I would consider myself a victim of not a cause of my own, but a victim of circumstances in life. But I pulled myself out to be victorious.
You know what, Tony, I really love the part that you say that you never give up and you keep, you do what it needed to be done to get your passport and get your document to the government. And many people listening to this needs to know that life is about struggles.
Yeah,
That's what make it more interesting, and that's what make your story really
exactly.
exciting, because you have to go through some things. If everything comes to you easily, let's say for example one day you got attacked and you never experienced stress of life before, you feel like dying. But someone like Tony that has experienced all this kind of stuff, nothing is gonna make him give up on anything. And people out there need to understand that giving up is not a good thing. I mean,
No,
there's some circumstance that you need to stop, that you just need to give up on. But make sure that when you're giving up on something, you're giving up for something lesser than what you're about to get. You're giving up to get something greater. And Tony, quick question for you: what makes you happy?
waking up every day and knowing that I have God in my heart and I have Him to guide my soul. I carry myself in His hands and in His guidance and in His light. Therefore, that alone makes me happy when I wake up. Am I a morning person? I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a morning person. But the fact of the matter that I woke up and that I have a job and that I have friends and that I've got coworkers and that I'm able to do and help others as well. That's what makes me happy. Being able to do for others more than anything. Prior to coming back and coming back to the college, um, my tenure was 23 years in the medical field and I loved it. I loved it. It was, were there down moments? Oh, of course, it's the medical field, but those down moments allowed me to realize that the happy moments were awesome as well. And that brings me happiness as well because there has to be a balance. I cannot expect to be happy all the time. Will I have down days? Will I have melancholy days? Yes, yes. But you know what? Those are the days that we teach ourselves how we can be happy with ourselves, how we can turn that situation, that moment, that feeling, that emotion into something that's going to benefit me. If and not in a selfish way by any means, benefit me in the aspect of how does this heartache teach me to be a better person? That's a benefit because you're being a better person for yourself. Therefore, you're going to resonate that with others. So, what makes me happy? My dog in the morning waking me up with a smile on his face, going outside and hearing there's this red cardinal. I'm not joking. There's this red cardinal that he, and I say he because it's a male cardinal. The mornings we will chirp each other. We'll chirp to each other back and forth, and that makes me happy. I've even got a recording to that. I'll show you. Actually, I'll show you tomorrow the recording.
Yeah, no worries.
But where we chirp back and forth, I don't care about the major things in life
Hmm.
when it comes to like, will my bills get paid? I do care about getting them paid, but I care because I have to get them paid. But I know I will because God will supply. So therefore, I'm happy.
Yes.
It's those little moments, going outside and chirping with the birds, or going outside and seeing my dog happy in the morning because he went outside for the first time in the morning. Things like that make me happy. Getting to work makes me happy because I know that some way, somehow, someone's going to touch my life. So I hope that I'm able to do that for someone as well. Things like that make me happy on a daily basis. There's many things that can go wrong on a daily basis, and many things do go wrong on a daily basis for many, if not for most of us. Will, what's out of our norm? Oh, we don't agree with it, but it's okay. how do you pass that instant that you don't agree with
Mm.
and turn it into a moment that you became a better person? That's what makes me happy. That's how I live. So I don't know. It's just me. I I believe laughter truly um, makes the soul vibrate. When you laugh, that comes from within, because you're
Definitely.
feeling it. That's your
Yeah.
soul. So those are things that make me happy.
Guys, I hope you're learning from Tony. You don't have to have all the money in the world to be happy. You create your own happiness. You know, some people feel like until they have this particular wealth or materialistic things before they can be happy. That's not so. You can be happy with the little things you have. And you can as well still chase more stuff for yourself if you want to expand. So, can you share three elements on how to become a victorious?
So three, you said three elements.
Correct.
The first one is realize what made you feel the victim, own it, rectify it for you or for whomever made you feel the victim. But at the end of the day, it's for yourself, and move past it. One, own it, atone it, and move past it. Two, I would say be able to not forget what made you feel that way, because if you forget the way it made you feel or what made you feel that way, you'll forget how to overcome it.
Hmm.
Remember what you felt, but remember how you came out of it as well, you know?
Yeah.
And three, most important of all, keep your faith strong. No matter what you may go through, keep your faith strong. When I lost my dad when I was 16 years old, and after having been adopted,
Hmm.
at 16 years of age, I was asking God, why? Why would you give me a father only to take him away for 16 years? 16 years later, you took my dad away. You gave him to me and then you took him away from me. Why? I was in a state of mind that I didn't comprehend that it wasn't a why moment. It was a thank you moment. God, thank you for giving me a father for 16 years. There are those whom will never know what saying dad or father or even know a father for a second in their lives out there. Why am I being so greedy and asking why instead of saying thank you? And that came later in life. But I did come to that realization that it wasn't a why moment. It was a thank you moment. And that I think was another victorious moment for me, because it allowed me to let go of that hurt,
Hmm.
to let go of that resentment that I thought I had for the situation, when all it was misunderstanding. So, three, keep him strong in your faith no matter what, because he will pull you out. And it's true. That's just been my experience. That's been what has been dealt to me in my life, and how I've overcome, and it's worked for me. Um, and I'm thankful for it. And so I don't know, that's how I live. So if it helps anyone, if just one person is helped, then I am blessed enough to know that that person also was helped.
Definitely, Tony. I believe people listening to this podcast, I know there are a lot of youths listening to this podcast, and I know you've experienced a lot in this life. Despite you live in America, you're born in America. So people have this perspective, especially, people outside of America. They think when you're in a country like United States, your problem is all solved. What do you tell people like that? I understand that
Um,
there's a difference in the when it comes to government opportunities, but
correct. So I was born and raised in the third poorest county in the nation in America. It's a border town to Mexico, Rio Grande City in Starr County. Um, I can tell you that I've seen true poverty, not in my hometown, but when we would go to Mexico. It's a developing country. It was, at least when I was growing up. And I'm not sure if it's still considered a developing country, but it was a developing country then. And we would do missionary work out there. And I would see how people had less than what I had.
mm,
So when it comes to being born and raised in America, I don't want to say it's a sense of entitlement because it's a sense of a blessing. It's a sense of a privilege that we have because the government builds that. However, are there struggles on a daily basis? There are many struggles, not only because of the pandemic that we're going through, the pandemia, but in general, prior to the pandemic, it is difficult in the aspect that many people here have the mentality of work, 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 and no life.
Hmm.
There has to be a life and work balance, and that's important. That's imperative. No matter where you live, there has to be a life and work balance. I say I'm privileged because I am privileged. I've had the privilege of going to school for free. I went to a public school, so I went to school for free. My parents had to pay nothing. My education was free. When I went to college, there were loans, but I was able to pay them back. So I cannot compare living in another country because I've never lived in another country, but what I've seen in other countries compared to America, what I believe being an American and what America offers is if you believe it, if you dream it, you can make it happen. But it all comes with hard work. Nothing is ever handed. Nothing is ever handed. And what is handed to you will be taken from you for someone else. So in other words, remember that while you want it, the sacrifice of working for it is the reward of getting it. And that's all it is.
Right.
And were we privileged? Was I privileged born in America? I couldn't say. And I know that that's not the question or what you asked, but I couldn't say it in those words because I can't compare it. But I did have a blessing, a privilege, being able to go to school, and it was free education, free meals at school. Um, Going to college, they would give financial aid, so that helps a lot as well. What financial aid didn't cover, there were loans, but it wasn't the huge loan that would have been the entire education. So yes, but it all comes with making sure that you know that someone sacrificed so that you could sacrifice to give to another because it's a pay it forward
Yes.
um, mantra that I believe, and that to me is what was installed in me as a Christian and by my parents and my grandparents and my faith and my family, my culture, colloquialism is due to be able to do unto others. Do for yourself, but because you're going to do for others as well.
Yes.
So, you know, and
Yes.
it takes you further.
Yes. Tony, I really love, when you said it requires hard work as well. And people need to understand this. I was born and brought up in Nigeria. And when I came to this country, it wasn't easy for me. Despite that, I came to this country through my dad. I can tell you this, every single thing. I mean, it helped me towards, getting to college, like going to the college with me to fill out some paperwork. Because then I came to America, knew I don't know how the system works. But I can tell people this, people listening to this, I have to stand up for myself. After the time he enrolled me in, like he support me to fill out some paperwork at my college when I first got to America. But I have to stand up for myself and work hard. Like Tony said, hard working is the thing that is gonna keep your heart going no matter what, even when it's time for you to quit. But if you're not hardworking, there's no way you can achieve what you want. You have to have that perspective that, oh, know your goals, know what you want to accomplish. The moment you have that state of mind, you will never give up. Tony, I really appreciate you so much that
Anytime.
you're able to add value to everyone listening to this podcast worldwide. And I will talk to you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. You have a good evening. Stay safe. Take care, everyone. Be kind to each other. Bye bye.